The next question is to Dr. Stotsky. Sandy, how does curriculum standards impact my lesson plans, classroom learning, and high-stakes testing?
Standards are intended to guide the shape of the curriculum. That is the point of having standards, and they were embedded in documents that were called curriculum frameworks. That was the point. Standards are there to help the teacher choose what specific works or texts or textbooks, as the case may be. What the teacher is going to use is the local curriculum. The standards are supposed to be the intellectual objectives or goals, so they are intended to shape it. And for high-stakes testing, which is what our grade 10 MCAS has been because it's used for the high school competency determination, it's important for the school system to be on top of what is happening and for teachers to be aware and students to know that indeed if they pass the test, because there are 4 levels, 4 categories, then the 3 top ones will mean that they will get their high school diploma if they meet all the other requirements. If they don't pass it, they can take the test over again until they do while they're still in high school. But the high stakes now under Common Core have what is possibly a more sinister aspect. They have, under Secretary of Education Arne Duncan's ideas, become a measure of the teacher's worth, and they have become an instrument, the test scores, for evaluating teachers. No Child Left Behind used its scores to evaluate schools and school districts. The envelope has been pushed further under the door, and now Common Core's test results will be used to evaluate teachers. Parents and students themselves are not to be held accountable for the tests that kids take, the scores they get. It's the teacher who will be hung up on the yardarm. So, and this is what has suddenly occurred in the past year or so to unions and groups of teachers across the country as they have suddenly realized that they are the only ones who are actually going to be punished in some way by what happens with student tests scores. It will be from maybe in some states 10% of their evaluation to 50% in others. This is something that's being worked out right now as we talk. It's a game that's in progress. Some states have passed laws like Colorado that made 50% of the student test scores count for teachers' evaluation. Indiana's state board is right now having a struggle because it allowed local districts to decide, and some made 10% and some made 50, and now they want to make it the same amount across the state, and they don't know whether to go with 50 or with 10. But one of the issues is, why should teachers be held accountable at all for a test they had no input into, do not see, cannot vet, and cannot do anything with, cannot change? It's a very peculiar situation legally, as far as I'm concerned. How the unions ever bought into it in the first place is a big mystery to me, but that's something they have to answer to. They were given Gates money in 2010, we know that, but I don't know how they expected their membership to go along with that kind of high-stakes accountability, where they're the scapegoats. There are a lot of puzzling aspects over the complete buy-in for this whole project and the way it was shaped.